Hi, welcome to another Barber Talk with DMV'S illest barbers. Today I am here with Chelsea and Jacob, the owners of Fadez Bladez in Mechanicsville, Virginia. How are you both today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you both for being here. Tell us a little bit about how you both came into the industry and then developed your shop and the concept behind it.
Yeah, so I grew up in hair. I started as a shampoo girl, and it's just something my whole family was kind of entangled in doing hair. And then Jacob is my high school sweetheart, and so he's kind of always been around. And we just kind of one day decided we were going to take the shop and make it bigger. And 2013 is when we opened. We opened up a second location in 2020, my apologies. And we opened up our third location this November. And it's been great. It's been super fun. A lot of hard work, a lot of late night ideas, hanging out together and just brainstorming and just, just putting it into play and just putting in the hours. And
a lot of great employees, a lot of great friends in that aspect as well. And most importantly, an incredible community and a community support is the only reason we're able to be where we are today.
Yeah, we are really big throughout the community, sponsorships, and a lot of our staff is incredible. They've been with us for a while, and it is truly an entire shop working to make us what we are.
I love that. So I hear that you started out in hair. Did you ever go into the cosmetology realm, or you were just like, no, you know what, I'm going to open up a shop? Dive a little bit more into what your journey was like.
So I tried it. I did hair in a salon for about 3 years, and it was a fun time while it lasted. But I love my 30-45 minute conversations with my clients, doing straight razor shaves. It's I love how meticulous it is and how personal the experience is. And just with keeping a client for 3 and 4 hours, I was not the best at holding a conversation that long. And so when I switched over, I fell in love with doing men's hair and straight razor shaves, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
And for me, just to be clear, I'm not cool enough to cut hair by any means. I get to do the stuff on the back end. God has gifted me with the gift of gab and the ability to make connections and play that role. So I take on the marketing role, the social media and things of that nature on the back end, really just playing the support piece and the Mr. Fix It when something goes wrong in the shop. But I'm really just the guy behind the screen for most of our social media stuff.
I love that. And I think that that's probably what makes you guys a great duo.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, with my situation, I see myself in that role that you just mentioned, Jacob. So good. So then tell us then, Jacob in particular, let's stay on you for a second. Okay. How has it been, watching Chelsea, have this vision, have this dream, go for it, pursue it, and even though you're in the back end of it, is it sometimes
I have the most gangster wife on the planet. Like, no one can tell her no once she's got her mind and eye set on something. She is one of the most hardworking individuals on the planet. She understands that nothing comes easy, and anything easy isn't going to be long lasting. She puts in the time, not only in the shop, but we are a mom and pop shop in the sense of like, don't call us mom and pop, but it is just us behind the scenes. So like scheduling, all her. Payroll. Now we have great help with the great CPA, but all her. Right now, I'll sit there and she struggles with numbers sometimes in terms of like dyslexia.
Yeah.
So like I'll be reading the numbers, she'll get it down, and like that's just like the personal side of things. But really, when we got back together, there was a brief stint when I went off to college. When I moved back home, we got back together. There was a time where she was going to school for respiratory therapy, and I had a job, and they had the shop, and it was like, are we going to be all in, or are we gonna go and do our own separate thing? And it was, she voted on all in, and I've always been a believer in her. Sometimes even on crazy stuff, but like she's always got a way of pulling it together in the end. So when we decided we were going to go all in, it was like, okay, cool. How can I be a support system? And
how can we grow? How big do we want to grow?
And then, when we started out, our shop in Mechanicsville, it was 5 chairs. We blew out some closets. Now we have 9 chairs. And then we opened Midlothian. We went straight to 8 in Glen Allen. We even built a mobile barbershop along the way. So that was a really interesting venture that I got to take a little bit more part in. That design situation was something I really fell in love with. But really, it was just being a support system and being there for, whatever she needs. I grew to be as passionate, if not more passionate at times about the shop than she is. She gets to see the community every day. So when we go shopping, grocery shopping, she's like, all right, let's get in, let's get out. I see these guys every day. When I'm like, somebody will stop me in a grocery store, I'll talk for 30 minutes.
And I'm sure she can appreciate that because she probably just gets to enjoy you talk while she can rest.
Oh, yeah. And and it's got to carry on. It's 20 conversations a day with, beyond the conversations with the staff. Like, that's got to be super draining. So I'm glad to take over in the conversation department.
Where you can.
I love that. I love that. And Chelsea, congratulations to you for being the mogul and having that mindset, to make a difference. Because really that's what you're doing. It's more than just about hair. I'm sure that you and your staff are acting in ways that really help to bring confidence and, some sort of peace to every person that sits in your chair and enters your shop. So absolutely. I want to take a second to can you guys just tell us where your shops are located and how people can find you and connect with you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a shop in Mechanicsville. We're located at 7225 Bell Creek Road, right down from the Target. And then we also have our Midlothian store. It's 14219 Midlothian Turnpike. We're in the Ivymont Shopping Center down from Kroger. And then Staples Mill is 10262 Staples Mill Road, Glen Allen, Virginia. We're right in the public shopping center. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. You can book through our Facebook online. You can find us. We have QR codes with our business cards if you come in and you see us.
TikTok, still new, but we're trying.
We're figuring it out. It's been fun trying to figure it out, but slowly but surely we're getting there.
Absolutely. I love that. And then again on Instagram, Fadez and Bladez.
Yeah, Fadez and Bladez. It's
absolutely.
the Fadez_in_Bladez. It's they didn't let us do the little and sign, so we went with it.
And we will definitely make sure that information is listed below the video. So for anybody who is in your position, and you're meaning both of you together, how do you separate work from personal? What do the dinner conversations, the lunch dates, the taking time for yourself look like? Is it able to be separated? What advice would you give?
It's hard. It's usually separated once, like every 6 months through a dinner or a date. But we're just so passionate about what we do. So it's always just kind of, even when we're at dinner with the kids and I'm like, okay, I have a wild idea. Just hear me out. And he's like, all right, let's hear it out.
And like, when you are a small business, it's important.
It's you all the time.
It is you all the time. And I'll be transparent. It is very easy to see how a situation like ours could cause strife in a marriage or in a relationship. 100%. We would be lying if we said it hadn't at times. But again, it is the one thing that we take so much passion in, so much pride in, that like, even when we set those parameters, like, hey, this is dinner, this is just us dinner, we'll be midway through dinner and be like, hey, dude, listen. So I had, like she said, I had this idea. 1 second, but we'll be with you in a minute. Please go back to the room.
I'll let you finish this.
So it can be troublesome at times, but it's definitely, the passion always shines through, and like, to your point, our kids take as much passion in it as we do. My daughter's 7 years old and we homeschool, and sometimes it's like, Dad, do I really got to do school, or can I just go to work with Mom? Can I answer the phones? Can I do the towels? Can I do the guards? And like, you know, my son, I believe every shirt I own is Fadez Bladez embroidered in some way, shape, or form. And like, that's like the big days in our families. Like when we get a new box of shirts, and like Xander's like, "Where's mine?" You know, even at 4 years old, they take pride in it. It's their thing, and you really got to be about it. Yeah. You know, you can't be half in, and that's the biggest advice I could portray is like, in life, don't do anything half-ass, right? You're never going to reach your full potential, but like, you got to be all in and surround yourself with other people who are about being all in. You know, we have an incredible group of employees. We tend to refer to most of them as family. They are the people that you are with as much as you're with your husband. Yeah. I mean, like, there are times where Chel's with the girls at the shop more than she's with me. And so having a solid foundation and surrounding yourself with people who have the same drive for success is extremely important.
Yeah, super, super important.
Absolutely. I love that advice. And so with the multiple shops and then with the journey, as you said, it hasn't always been, peaches and cream. What then advice, taking from what you've learned, what would you give to someone who is looking to open up multiple shops in an area? What do they look out for? Like location, I heard you mention you're near some major stores, near Kroger,
There are things that she likes, and then there are things that I like. Okay. Right? And it all depends on where you are in your journey. Yeah. If you got to understand, we were open for the better part of a decade before we branched out to a second location. It wasn't until we had 9 chairs and a 2-hour wait at times that we were like, okay, well, maybe we could do this elsewhere, right? Maybe our brand has
the
potential to be a recognizable thing. She's really big on anchor stores, right? That's going to drive that foot traffic. So like the Targets, the Publix, the Kroger's. For me, right? Like the ABC store, a good restaurant, like something that's going to bring in all walks of life. So you're going to get that passerby. There's a lot of back-end research that goes on behind it too, right? Yeah. You need to know what you're charging for a haircut.
Is that comparable?
Is that comparable to the median income of the households around you? Right? There's some incredible information out there. You can get out there and find out how many cars drive down this road every day. Right? Those are important things to know. Like, this is just the traffic going by. These, everyone that drives by is an opportunity to see your shop, to gain business. If your brand isn't that recognizable in terms of like where you are in your journey, I would highly suggest getting into a space, one, that you can afford. That's the most important part. A space that you can afford that's not going to stretch you thin. But 2, a place where you're going to get those passerbys and
create that walk-in traffic for your team. So if I don't have that clientele, you'll be able to say, our stores, our Mechanicsville and Midlothian store, they see 75 to like 120, 130 people a day. We're closed on Sundays, but Glen will eventually be there. But it was big, and to go on, like he said, seeing how many cars drove by, schools that are around. Can we get in with the schools? Can we sponsor them? Are there athletic, youth organizations we can get in with and sponsor them to get our name out there and a banner on the field? And it's a lot goes into it to try. We preach that we are a community, to really get yourself out into the community and really immerse yourself in it.
And we also came from a unique situation. Chelsea and I were born and raised in Mechanicsville. My family goes back 4 generations in Richmond alone. So I was an athlete. She was a cheerleader, right? So like we had that little, I don't want to call it a leg up, but people knew us. Right. And like I said, our community, not just our shop, but I think Hanover County in general, not to throw any shade on the other ones, this is just where we came from, is humongous on supporting small business of all kinds.
Yeah, they're so great at
it. And that's one thing that, again, in terms of advice for someone, understand there are other small businesses out there just like you, not in your realm, but boutiques, restaurants, ice cream parlors, small town car shops, in terms of mechanic shops. Get out there and cross collaborate, just like we're doing right now. Like,
take them goodies, get stickers with your logo on them, take them chips, just give them, a $2-3 off, or have, a dedicated day for, senior citizens or something, just to give back and really get in your community. And word of mouth in the smaller communities, I always say, where we live, it's a big little town because everybody knows everybody, but it's massive, and it's getting out there and into the community that you'll see a major return on.
Another big thing we do is we take care of those who take care of our community, in the sense of we celebrate our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs, our active military. Those are the people who are doing the real selfless work, right? And we do that through a discounted rate for all of their services anyway. But like you said, they're our first people we reach out to. We're gonna bring donuts or pizza to the fire station, to the police station. We're gonna do our best to shine light on our nurses during Nurses Week. Now we have a nurse that's very near and dear to our heart, so that makes it a little bit easier. But it really is about
getting involved in every part
in every aspect of your community, because that's what the barbershop is.
Yep.
It's a community safe haven.
Mm-hmm.
And we pride ourselves on being there for everybody, every walk of life, and be in a space where you're safe in our space.
Yeah.
You're welcome in our space, no matter where you came from.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really good. I live in a smaller town. It's Calvert County, Maryland, and I follow their sheriff's page, and they do the same thing. The small businesses will often contribute, and the sheriff's office will post it, and that's another way for exposure. But that's also them collaborating, and it's just a beautiful thing to see. So that's really good. What are you guys excited about when you look at not just the industry, but also where you're headed? What excites you?
Oh goodness, what am I excited about? Growth and opportunity for myself, people that work with me, more opportunity to get into the community. And that's like, right now we're trying to put together giving back to homeless, going out, taking our mobile shop to go post up and be able to have them come on and, just growth for everyone around, I would say, for everybody in the shops, myself. I think that's what I'm excited to see.
I think for me, it is, and it always has been, about a legacy, right? Like something that's going to be here when we're not, right? Something that if my daughter or son wants to take on, they have the ability to do so. We haven't really considered what that looks like if they don't. So like, I can't speak to that. We don't really try to look at things with an end date. We're, just that continuous go forth. But also I'm excited for what this does for, we're celebrating women in this situation, like what this does for women and children. Like, I think we're at a time in society where we've kind of gotten away from trades, whether that be plumbing, electrician, welders, barbers, cosmetologists, nail techs, right? I'm excited because I think they're, I don't know where things are going, but I think that this sets a good example that you don't have to be an engineer to love what you do and make and make a living.
Yeah.
Right. I think that, it shows that you can really just put your effort into your hands and your communication skills and learn a trade, and
you can go far.
You can really go far. You know what I'm saying? Success can be had in many different ways, and it doesn't always have to revolve around technology.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because, you could try to animate a haircut, but you can't animate a conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm excited for that.
That's really good, and so since you opened up your first shop, and you've been moseying along and you've had other shops, what has changed? What what have you seen change in the industry that's most recognizable? And then what do you think is missing?
I wouldn't necessarily think there's a ton missing. I've seen it change in so many different ways. Oh gosh, where can I even start? Product and product pricing, and that's one thing that we're dealing with right now is everything is smaller, but the price is getting bigger, and we've still got stuff on the shelves that is the same size bottle, but it's another $4 or $5, and so trying to hit those price points. And what would you say?
I think that the unfortunate truth is COVID changed a lot.
Yeah.
The unfortunate truth is no matter what way you look at COVID, we're still struggling with it, not only as an economy, as a country, but in our industry for sure. It did change a lot. There were a time there where I don't know if the laws were the same or the regulations were the same in Coke, but we were shut down for weeks, more than months. And that was the scariest time of our lives, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, I still had a corporate job at the time and we were able to make it through. But it really did have an impact, especially on small business, right? And not just the hair industry, nails, everything, restaurants,
bars,
everything. And now,
everybody.
you talk about being able to pay your employees a reputable wage and something that they're not struggling, because I'm a firm believer that if we're struggling, y'all are struggling. If we're not struggling, y'all shouldn't be struggling, right? And being able to do so. And that's the great part about the good and the bad about a small town is like, we can't be charging a ridiculous amount of money for a haircut, right? We have to be competitive because that's just where we're from, in some of our shops, money is not the most affluent, right? So being able to ride that line of, this is the cost of this because this is the quality of services we're rendering, right? And being able to provide a quality service is the most important, but charging an appropriate amount to where they don't feel gouged, but it allows you to pay your employees their justifiable wages.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been a big change, I think. And I don't think, and it's not just for our industry. I think that's for small businesses as a whole. And it's something that we're constantly learning, and I will constantly adjust and pivot that you have to do in small business.
Yeah.
But I think that's been the biggest change. Also, for us, like a big thing, I know this is going to sound crazy and it's definitely a left turn, is like style has changed.
Yeah.
Right.
Some new haircut styles.
New haircut styles. Dude, the mullet is on its way back. I'm working on mine right now. We have kind of have a stronghold on the mullet game in our area. It started out as a joke, kind of, and as funny. But like when you
we do some good mullets.
But when you see these professional athletes rock it, just like not so much Taylor Swift, but Travis Kelce, right? They were trying to deem his haircut the Travis Kelce, and we're like, bro, that's been a fade, and a fade's been a fade for a long time. Like you can't just champion this guy for that good haircut. His barber's the one that needs to be championed right now.
That's right. That's right.
But style's coming back, and in fashion, longer hair is coming back. So being a barbershop, finding a way to, hey, dude, we're gonna be all about the long hair, but you still need to look clean. It still needs to be nice, kept, and collected. And
stay educated too on the stuff that is changing, making sure you offer the classes, the one-on-ones, the product knowledge to be able to stay up on everything.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because that is definitely a big piece of it. I'm pretty sure. Absolutely. That's really good. You guys have been so insightful. I know we're coming up on our 30-minute mark. Is there anything that you would like to leave with us? Any new ventures that you're tackling? Any other advice? Anything you would like to leave for the viewers before we close out?
No new adventures yet.
Glen Allen's still super new.
Yeah, Glen Allen's still super new, but just, you know, remember if you're in your journey and you want to grow, or, you know, you're getting ready to open, you know, a shop, just you're going to be working a lot. It is really hard. We got really thankful with having my amazing sister-in-law help us when we took over Mechanicsville, and, you know, got all of our remodel, and really decided that we were going to really, you know, start to grow and, you know, expand, and just prepare for late nights, long hours. But at the end of it, I promise you figured out, you create systems and structures and policies and things that lacked in places that you previously were, and, you know, bring to the table the shop that you would want to work at. And I promise people will follow and they'll come. Always remain humble. Always remember that you are only in the place that you are because of people standing beside you. There have been countless times we will be out to dinner and people will come up and they'll go, "You're Fadez and Bladez?" I'm like, "Nope, I work there. We have a ton of employees that make us what we are. I just work there." So remember that it is truly a team. You know, even when you're not there, they create and, you know, thrive in the environment that you want and that you create.
To piggyback on that, know where you want to be. Not everybody is meant to lead, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And if you are going to try to lead, understand there's a lot of learning curve.
Yeah.
There.
A lot of learning curves.
The bigger you get, the more personalities you receive, the more walks of life you indulge in, the more issues you will be expected to alleviate. Surround yourself with greatness in every aspect you can. Whether if you want to be a barber and just a barber, that's cool. Find a shop where the owners buy into you. They believe in you, and they put your passion right next to theirs. If you want to be a boss, not an owner, a boss, whatever it may be. If you want to be a boss, surround yourself with people who are going to put in that same effort. Right. And bring the same type of energy and love for the game to the table. And that's in life. That's not just business. That's in life. And you gotta believe in yourself, because there have been times where we'll cry to each other like, how's this gonna work? Did we bite off too much? What's going on? And next day, God will answer your prayers. You know, it's never going to be easy, and that's okay, as long as you're okay with it not being easy.
Yeah. Or okay for a short stint, you know.
So. Dude, and understand that there are ebbs and flows to everything, right? You're gonna have a great day, and if you can stack 2 and 3 great days in a row, that's a win in and of itself.
It's a win.
But like you said, there's going to be a change of a page for someone, and maybe that's somebody who's exiting the industry, or something like that you really love. You know, you got to be able to support them in that exit, and be there to champion and encourage them in their newer journey. And you have to do that all while trying to plan for your own thing. You know.
That's right. Thank you both. Thank you both for your time, for your knowledge, and for your wisdom, and sharing it with our viewers. If you guys enjoyed this interview, please make sure to go and reach out or follow Fadez _Bladez and find them on Facebook. You can also walk into their shop. Are you guys walk-in or appointment only, or you do both?
Both.
We cater to both schedules.
Awesome. Yeah, so make sure that you guys check them out. And also for DMV's Illest, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe as well. And thank you guys for your time.
Thank you
for your time, ma'am.